behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Mash TV. Time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We got another great interview coming up shortly. But before we begin, don't forget about the subscribe and bell buttons below you there. Click those and you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And leave a comment on the comment section if you like. We'd love to hear from you there. And if you're paying attention to the closing credits as well as the description part here on YouTube, you'll find contact info. So please stay tuned for that. From Hawthorne, California today, we have Gene Copley from 3 Days in the Grave. Very talented band, and I think you're really going to love them. And we're going to get to that in a second, but here's another quick word from the Caden Gordon Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Hawthorne, California, we have Gene Copley today, and he's from the band 3 Days in the Grave, and we're glad to have you there, Gene.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me, Paul. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit of how you began as far as being an artist? I mean, I'm sure that you grew up in a musical family. Maybe you always wanted to be an artist. Everyone has their own story, though. Go ahead and tell us yours.
Well, yeah, I grew up in a musical family. My grandfather, my mom's dad, he was a guitar player, and a lot of his brothers played music. But my house was growing up. I grew up. My family listened to a lot of R&B, listened to a lot of Rick James, Teddy Pendergrass, The Temptations. So I really wasn't getting the feel of rock and roll when I was a kid. But as I got older, like in my teenage years, my brother started listening to groups like Kiss, and but then he turned me on to Kiss, and I was like, wow, this is interesting. It's different, So then he played me some Black Sabbath, and I really got hooked then, and then and then I figured out that I wanted to be a musician. I was about 13, I think. And so I asked my mom to buy me a drum set. She said, well, let me give you lessons first. So she took me to the lady that she knew, and she paid the lady, and the lady said, he don't need lessons. Get him a drum set. She gave him the money back. And so I started playing, and and then I fell away for a little bit. I started chasing girls. We all chase girls. And so then when I was a little bit older, in '85, I met up with Robert Tyler, which is my guitar player, and he was in a band, and they were looking for a drummer. So we messed around for a little bit. That went nowhere, and so but then in the meantime, I was playing with other bands. I played with a lot of previous bands in high school. I moved up north for a while, and I was messing around with some bands up there, and just for fun. And I lost contact with Robert, and then back in 2000. He approached me and said, hey, I'm doing some acoustic stuff. You want to be with me and play bongos for me? So I said, yeah. So we started doing bongos and coffee shop gigs. And then I think it was 2006 or 2007, we decided we wanted to do rock and roll. So we ended up forming 3 Days in Grave. We've been through several bass players. And but in that time, we were very creative, started writing, trying to get our name out there. We've played the Whiskey A Go-Go several times. We've headlined it twice. We've opened up for a lot of famous bands. 80s band called Enough's Enough. We opened up for Hellion, another band called Bitch, Dio Disciples. You name it. We opened up for a lot of famous people. Mike Albert, former guitar player from Megadeth, I opened up for him. I got pictures all over my TikTok and Instagram of things that I've done. And within that, me doing all this stuff, I got nominated for Josie Awards, Group of the Year, Band of the Year, Song of the Year. I've been to Nashville. I've been to Dollywood. I've collaborated with other musicians, including Imran, who's a great guitar player, a good friend of mine. Um, I just had and then after that, and but going back to, I should have went back to that in the first place, but going back to that, when I wanted to play music, I was kind of still wondering what I wanted to play. So my brother, he played me some Beatles, and I was like, wow, okay. I heard Ringo, so that kind of got me interested. So then I heard and seen John Bonham play, and I heard him play the drum solo to Moby Dick, and I was like, oh my God. So then John Bonham actually sealed the deal for me. But I have other influences. Simon Wright. I don't know if you know who Simon Wright is. I have Simon Wright, uh, John Bonham, uh, Tommy Lee. People like that are my influences growing up because I listened to a lot of '80s metal like Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Poison. They all played a big part of my life. As far as music goes. And like I said, growing up in a family where I didn't have rock and roll, my family listened to R&B, Elvis maybe, Elvis Presley, but mostly R&B, oldies. So I didn't really know what rock and roll was back then when I was a kid. I didn't find out till later on in life. But yeah, and now that I'm older, I really I enjoy playing. I get it's like an adrenaline rush. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything. My music is my drug. That's my drug. That's what gets me going. And I want to further my career. I want to probably one day, hopefully, because I have kids, so I want to probably, hopefully, I want to make something of myself, give my kids something proud to look at. My dad was this, my dad was that. Um, and I kind of accomplished this somewhat. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. I'm all over YouTube. There's another thing out here in California called Number One Music. I'm on there. And I've built up quite a fan base, but most of my fan base is over in other countries like, South America and Japan and stuff like that, Europe, but not too much here in the States. But so yeah. So Three Days Engraved is not just a band that, you see on YouTube. We have been around, we have done a lot of stuff, but just things happen with life, and sometimes you just have to take a break.
Mhm.
But now I'm trying to get back up there again. We're trying to build our music stuff up again.
Yeah, that's a great story. And you did mention a few good influences too, but you mentioned like Teddy Pendergrass and Elvis and so forth. Those are some pretty good ones. I guess we can also go to your official website, right? 3daysinthegrave.com, I guess it is. Or do you not have?
It's we have a 3 Days of Great Facebook page. It has a lot of our videos, our music's on there, and then we are also on Spotify. We have music on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube. Um, Anything they need to know about 3 Days in the Grave, we have a Facebook page. We don't have a website at the moment, but we're working on that right now. But people can find out what they want to know about 3 Days in Grave and I have a personal Facebook, Gene Copley at facebook.com. I post things on there. I'm also on TikTok. I got stuff about my band on there, and Instagram, and it's all under Gene Copley and Instagram and TikTok.
Okay, well, check out Gene Copley on Facebook and all those streaming sites he mentioned. I know that he will love you for that. And the one who created you is the name of the video we're going to watch. And a moment ago, you mentioned Imran Ahmed, who was on our show several years ago, and we're hoping to have him back again one day. Tell us a little story about the video. I mean, I'm sure it's self-explanatory though, but tell us a little bit about.
Um, well, we worked very hard on that song. We've tried to come up with different styles, different things for the video, and like I said, we just couldn't get the right lead for it, so we asked Imran if he wanted to do it, and when he did it, he sent us his part, and then we had the guy that does our videos for us. He's also an engineer. We had him remix it, and he made our video, and that's what you see in it. It's and Imran's a great guitar player. He's phenomenal. For people that don't know him, they should go check him out because he's amazing. And in this video, they're going to see how good he is because it's a very metal, very very hard, which is weird because my guitar player never really listened to metal growing up. He was a Beatles fan, big Paul McCartney, George Harrison Beatles fan. He never. So when you hear the music that we do. The only really two people that really listened to that music was my bass player and me, because my guitar player, he didn't listen to that growing up. So it's kind of weird how he writes songs that are that are stuff he didn't listen to growing up. You know what I mean? He had a brother that did, but he said that he really never really got used to it. He never really liked it. So he was a Beatles fan. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know, and it is a great song. I've heard it a couple times, and you guys, as obviously, you're going to love it too, and we're going to get to that in a second. But Gene, I want to thank you so much for coming today. We'd love to have you back again sometime if you'd like to plug something new for us.
Yeah, I think maybe next time I'll be back with the whole band next time. That would be awesome. You could talk to all three of us.
Yeah, that'll
Um,
that'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah, because we wear the top hats, and we my guitar player is the Undertaker, and me and my bass player are the Cowboy Gravediggers. There's a story behind that. I mean, I don't know if you have time to say it, but there's a story behind that. Let me tell you how we got the look real quick, and then we can. We 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 were gonna do it for one video, so we did. And I have a friend that used to have a radio station in London called Petswood Radio, and Mickey Spectrum. And he said, "Hey, wear it to one of your gigs and let's see how they act." As soon as we walked in, they started applauding us before we got on stage. They were clapping and yelling, and so we did one show, and everybody loved it. And that look is what got us nominated, because before we used to wear jeans and t-shirts and we didn't get much exposure. But as soon as we kept that look and got that look, everybody loved us. And so we decided to keep it. I mean, it really, so we get a lot of compliments, but and also the song you're going to play, this is probably our hardest song we have. It's like really metal, really dark. A lot of our stuff is a little bit different, but it's not as hard as this. So we tried to step outside of our element a little bit to give something different to the people, so they can really see what 3 Days of Grave is all about. See, we can do more than just one style of music, not just stick to one, that grunge rock, Black Sabbath sound. We wanted to show that we can go outside of the box and do other things. That was the whole point of making that song in the first place. The song you're going to play, that was the whole point of it.
Okay. Well, as I said, I love it, and I knew you guys were getting ready to see it. We're going to get to that in a second because it starts right now. The One Who Created You by 3 Days in the Grave. It starts right now.